Asik Gupta.
Yes, sir.
So you had your lunch?
Yes, sir.
तो क्या खाया खाना में आज?
Sir, खिचड़ी.
खिचड़ी खाया क्यों? होटल में हो या घर में हो?
Sir, घर पे.
घर पे हो तो खाना तो और अच्छा मिलना चाहिए था, क्या हुआ?
Sir, it was like Saturday we make.
Oh, Saturday you used to have khichdi. You are from which?
Yes, sir.
आशिक भाई आप कहाँ से?
Sir, Assam.
Assam which part?
Sir, Tinsukia district, Talapali.
मोटो तो डिब्रूगढ़ घर, तिनसुकिया कोड?
Sir, Talapali bazaar.
Oh, Talapali bazaar है. मोटो डिब्रूगढ़ पानो आसलते. মই এতিয়া শিলচৰত আছো আৰু এতিয়া মই মানে আশিকৰ লগত কথা পাতিব বিচাৰিছো. আশিক.
Yes, sir.
Tasmita 77 roll number. Tasmita Deka.
Yes, sir.
Madam, good afternoon.
अभी मेरा एडिट करना पड़ेगा मेरे वाले में तेरा नाम है. Good.
ठीक है मैं करता छोड़
नहीं मैं कर रही हूँ मुझे देखना है.
Madhumita Bora 41.
7717.
Madhumita
7717.
Udit bhai
7717.
105. Udit bhai
7717 के बाद फिर से 7717.
नहीं 740.
Udit bhai
7717 740.
Yes, sir.
how are you?
हाँ.
अभी आज
Fine,
खाना
sir.
में क्या खाया? उदित भाई
आज वो डांगमा
डावा को घर में हो या होटल में हो?
घर पे सर.
घर में अभी क्या खाया आज खाना में?
आज वैसे
बहुत खास नहीं हुआ ना?
आलू भाजी खाया.
ओ आलू भाजी खाया, ठीक है सर. ठीक है सर. हबीबुर रहमान रोल नंबर 91. आप दोपहर में क्या खाना खाया?
सर आलू और रंगालाउ मिली भाजी
और डाली सब्जी कितना हुआ?
सर हॉस्टेलत एटिया है ना?
ओ हॉस्टेलत आसी এই কারণে তার कितना हुआ? 72. अच्छा, anyway we'll go ahead. So first thing I must introduce myself. Yes or no? उदित भाई.
Yes, sir.
आपका साथ तो परिचय नहीं हुआ है, हम कौन है? हमारा बारे में तो जानकारी नहीं है. पहले तो हम ही बोल देते हैं हम कौन है. आपका ऑर्थोपेडिक डिपार्टमेंट में प्रांजल तहसीलदार है ना? हु इज द हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ ऑर्थोपेडिक्स?
Dr. Pranjal Tahvildar, sir.
Tahvildar sir, we did MS in same batch from AMC. At present, I am working as Professor Silsor Medical College Orthopedics. Earlier, I was in Assam Medical College. So, by this technology, we are in the same platform. Yes or no? Wrong, bhai?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So this technology is such that even though I am at Silchar, I am now in front of Orang. Yes or no? And I am alien to you. First thing I must introduce. I was associate professor there, and myself and Dr. Pranjal Tahvildar did MS in the same batch. So he's now professor and head in Juhat Medical College, and I am here in Silchar Medical College. So I was taking classes of SMC, sometimes also GMC, and I was thinking that why not we talk to you people also. I used to take classes for the PG also there. So that is why I am here with you. So today, actually, I do not want to talk anything specific to you. Nothing specific. We want to give an overview of the orthopedic surgery, how it is coming to the existence today, how it was starting earlier, and who are the persons who has contributed immensely in the field of orthopedics. That is what I want to talk to you. Little bit of historical background. We must know our background also. how the orthopedics is at present and what was there earlier. There is tremendous change in the medical fraternity. You all must have seen so many developments, so many newer and newer concepts are coming. What was existing yesterday is no more practical today. This is absolute. We must march forward. And what we do, we forget, we try to take away the old absolute techniques and grab the new thing. So as to be in the development, in the field of development. And that is what is the fact is, change is inevitable. That is why newer and newer concepts are always coming. What is new today is old tomorrow. Probably this new gold standard today is becoming absolute tomorrow. So these things are happening. That is how the development of orthopedics also taking place. Today, I am not talking anything specific. I will give you all historical background of orthopedics, how it is coming to the existence. First thing, we must understand how this word orthopedics is coming to this medical science. We must salute a person from France, Nicolas Andre, who in 1741 has coined the term orthopedics. Ortho means take. Pedios means child. Means those persons, those physicians who dealt with corrections of the deformities of the children were the orthopedics. That is how the name is coming to the existence. It is actually basically mixed two words from Latin, Greek word. These are two Greek words, orthopedics. Ortho means state, pedics means children. That is how, because they were dealing with these corrections of the deformities of the children. So, if you read the histories of various civilizations, you will find every civilization have their own way of treating the patients. So many things are evolved in the various civilizations, Hindu civilizations, Indus Valley civilizations, or Mohenjo-daro civilizations, or even other civilizations also, Greek civilizations, or Chinese civilizations, whatever it might be, they have their own way of development. And today, since the world is open, what is developed there is also being accepted by the other world as well in a very short period of time. But earlier days, their development was individualistic. Now is a person we must salute for this term orthopedics, and today that is why we are a special branch of this specialty. We know the father of modern medicine is Hippocrates. He also developed various techniques for treatment of fractures and dislocations. The techniques of traction, the techniques of counter-traction, the corrections of various deformities, and Hippocrates' methods of reductions still yet used. 450 BC, even then we say salute this person for his modern medicines, we name it as the father of modern medicine. And we take Hippocratic oath as a part of our professional career. Galen, another surgeon in 1100 BC, was also described the term scoliosis and kyphosis. We are here to tell you that some certain terminology must make yourself familiar as far as orthopedics is concerned. This terminology is like your deformities in the spine. If there is a forward deformity, bending kuja, or what is Assam is called kuja, is basically we name it a kyphosis. And if it is bending towards lateral plane, we say it is a scoliosis. So scoliosis in a lateral plane, kyphosis in the frontal plane. If it is bending, this terminology you must familiar also, which was introduced to this medical science by Galen. In the modern era, particularly during the development of the industrial revolutions, there was development of various technologies in this various spectrum in the mechanical. So was the development of medical science as well. And being orthopedic surgery is a part of this medical science, there was also upliftment in the orthopedic surgery as well. There was better understanding of the control of infection, and there was introductions of the various technologies for dealing with the various problems of fractures and dislocations. Today, we must salute another persons for these immense contributions for the introductions or inventions of the X-ray. We know the Ranjan from Germany, who has taken the first film of his own wife's hand, is the person who has given this gift of X-ray. Today, X-ray is one of the most important background investigative tool for the orthopedic surgeon, not only orthopedic, for the medical science as well. And there is another development taking place in the basis of the X-ray as well. Austin Moore, we know, is a part of a replacement surgery being done in fracture like tumor elderly patients, was a metallic prosthesis where a head is being replaced by metallic prosthesis, was introduced by Austin Moore. And this Austin Moore is still in use. And Ranjan from Germany. So now let us take the other part as well, which also indirectly helped in the development of orthopedics and medical science as a whole. The invention of the microscope in 1648 by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. We know he has developed this microscope, who used to deal with the lens only. He was familiar with the lens work. Then subsequently, Louis Pasteur also introduced to the world the existence of various bacteria and microorganisms. And we know that during the time before invention of the anesthesia, the fracture, the dislocations are very crudely being managed. Crude in the sense that there is no procedure to make him unconscious. If at all in that, they used to hit on his head, make him unconscious, do the surgery, do the manipulation, do the reduction. Or sometimes they had to compel to consume alcohol or some sort of intoxicating material so that he become unconscious and do this job. But it is because of this invention of your various orthopedic, specialties, like the invention of the ether. Invention of ether, the credit goes to two persons. In 1842 by Crawford Long and also Morton. Both were credited. One who discovered early, published later, is also being credited. Before that, we also seen various pictures like this. These pictures, they are very much familiar. You will find in your textbook or somewhere in the museum or any other collections of the historical background of medical science. You will find how this method was. But even then, that was the way to treat this patient. That was the way to treat the patient before invention of the ether, or before invention of the anesthesia. Then come the Joseph Lister. What he did, as I said, microscope was discovered. Louis Pasteur has given this knowledge of your microorganism, who is said to be culprit of this organism, infection. Then the concept of sterilization, how to make the infection free, was given by another person known as Joseph Lister. Lister's concept of sterilization still existed. The OP setup, how to make everything free from infections and sterilize this thing. The concept was led by Lister. There is an interesting thing that Galen in 1100 BC has said that every wound must go through a phase of infection. That means after the injury, it has to pour pus, it has to go infection, then it will heal. That was the concept earlier. But later on, it is realized, no. Microorganisms are the culprit of doing so. That is why Louis Pasteur has introduced this concept, how to do sterilizations, how we can think that we can also cut short this healing process by this phase of infection is to be cut short. The Alexander Fleming has discovered penicillin in 1942. This is another landmark in the history of orthopedics in the general medicine as well, which is contributing to orthopedics also, that Joseph Lister told us to take the preventive measure. But after infection is taking place, how to kill the organism? We didn't have any weapon. Till there is invention of penicillin in 1400, particularly Second World War by Alexander Fleming, who has given us another weapon to kill the organism, who is the culprit of infection. So up till now, this is a general overview of the all medicines. This invention has not only contributed for upliftment of the orthopedic surgery, as well as other branches of medical science as well. But specifically, orthopedics development particularly took place in 1950 onwards, 1958 onwards. Before invention of the X-ray, people used to do the manipulation other thing by palpating the fracture. How it is happening? This is palpating it, then they realize that this thing, and then we're supposed to do like this. But subsequently, it has been realized, subsequently after invention of the X-ray, that is being understood better, how better we could able to understand after invention of the X-ray only. Before that, people used to do all these things by manipulation, by feeling. The fracture is tibia is there, you feel it and do the manipulations like this. But we always benefited by the X-ray. But subsequently, as I said, the problem of human being with the orthopedics problem is fractures and dislocations and other things were also already there. As long as the human mankind is existing in this world, since then there is the problem of orthopedic problem as well. Fracture was there, dislocation was there. Their own way of dealing by this own crowd or the civilization as well. But there was no scientific base orthopedics. We do not know exactly. We are doing it, but we do not know actually scientific. Better scientific analysis of the fracture configuration, fracture classification, fracture digital classification, then the mechanism of fracture and how best we can classify, then also how best we can deal with various types of orthopedic implants and surgeries. All these things happen in inception. All these things happen in Davos, Switzerland, in 1958 by the group called AO, means Association of Osteosynthesis, and is also in English it is known as Association of Study of Internal Fixation. So they are dedicated improving who try to do the analysis of these fractures in a research. They are also developing the educational systems, the quality assurance, principle of treatment. Now, this is scientific base. Before that, it was done, but there is no scientific knowledge. Biomechanics was not described. But EVO group has done all these things, and we must credit the 4 persons who has Edmund Muller, Robert Chandler, William Gare, and Al Gore. All these 4 persons who formed a committee in Davos way back in 1950 to do this scientific analysis. And truly speaking, today, all throughout the world, be it India, be it USA, be it the advanced countries in the Europe or anywhere in the world, the basic principles is being followed. Be in Africa, be the advanced country, everywhere. So today, we are basically following the basic principles of treatment, particularly by surgery, internal fixations of ITF problem, led by EVO group. Let us talk something about the India also, how India has developed. We know that these earlier days, the same surgeon used to do all these things. Means a surgeon used to do operation to the head, operation in the neck, operation in the chest, abdomen, thorax, everything. Even when he used to do delivery and cesarean section also. Gone are the days. There is specific branches developing later on. And to a more later date, the general surgeon used to do the orthopedic surgery also. Way back, around say 40 years back, The general surgeon used to do the surgery because at that time orthopedics was not developed. General surgery, do the abdomen, all the surgeries along with the flexor femur or kneeling, etc. But we must say that you must give salute to some Indian surgeon who have taken care of development in this field of orthopedics in India. We salute R.J. Katrak, N.S. Narasimha Iyer, S.R. Sandra Mukhopadhyay Kharwal. They are the pioneers of orthopedic surgeons in India. They are initially were member of general orthopedic surgery. Subsequently, they realized that no, we supposed to, these are the general surgeons initially, they were having more interest in orthopedic surgery. So that is why, they have separated from general surgery, that their own concept. Today, we talk about the Association of Orthopedic Surgeons of India, IOA. Basically, they are the father of this Indian Orthopedic Association. Earlier days, orthopedic surgeon has to go through the MS course in MS general surgery, then subsequently do the MS in then the super specialty general surgery, orthopedic surgery. But because of them, it is being curtailed to only streamline for this orthopedic surgery only. Today, we are having so many people coming up orthopedic because of this, because of the contributions by this our forefathers. And in Assam, we also do not forget few names who have contributed in the field of orthopedic surgery. Shiva Borua sir from Assam Medical College, Hemo Gogoi from Guwahati, Nandi Puraka sir from Silchar, Biswajit Borua sir from your Guwahati, and Ronen Chakraborty sir from Guwahati. They have contributed immensely for development of orthopedics in Northeast, particularly in Assam. Here, the formation of NEROSA, Northeast Orthopedic Surgeon Association, is being formed by this group of people. Subsequently, we are privileged to have this organization marching ahead because they have given us light and source. Early orthopedic surgeon used to, as I said, then specialty has come to the existence. Now, one thing I would like to tell you that this thing is happening, but who are the persons who have first started this course of orthopedics? You know, after First World War, after the First World War, the first group of specialists being trained by two persons, Hugh and Thomas, and his niece, father, Chacha and Bhatija. They have actually given the first orthopedic institutional orthopedic training to a group of surgeons of UK and USA, and they later on dedicated their whole life for the treatment of orthopedic problem only. We know this Thomas Pillin is very familiar to us. Today also is being used. It is being invented by Thomas Pillin, and who was the father of the teacher of the modern orthopedics. This is Thomas Tess by name of this Thomas. Then Robert John is also related to her, as I said, Chacha and Bhatija. They combined it together, has also developed this thing. They are the first group of surgeons they have trained, and they were from UK and USA. Today, we are all are happy to have a team because modern institutional training was basically started by Robert John and Hugh Thomas. Today, orthopedic is a specialty branch which deals with musculoskeletal trauma, post injury, spine injury, degenerative problem, infection, tumor, congenital problems of the bone, joint, muscles, and tendon. It is not merely the reading or studying of the bone. Reading of study of the bone is osteology, but the orthopedic surgery is a different subject which covers all these things. And you must understand various terms, technologies which are more pertinent to the orthopedic surgery, like sagittal, like coronal, like transverse. These things you should understand. And in subsequent class, we will be repeatedly talking about these things, so you must make yourself familiar to it. Genu is knee, cubitus is elbow. Genu is knee, cubitus is elbow. Then coxa is hip. So what is the definition of fracture? Fracture is the break in the continuations of the bone. We'll talk about this later on. We also know what are the stages of healing. We'll talk about things later on, just overview. We also talk about the things later on. So treatment modalities, various treatment modalities, the plasters, or sometimes we also apply various types of, this is plaster, various types of implants. This is intermedullary, where the fixation is done inside the medullary cavity. There are certain implants which are working on the surface, like the different plates, different screws are being used today for the fixations of various types of fractures. So you must make yourself familiar later on. We'll talk about this later on. And also talk about the external fixators, which is being fixed from the outside, not going inside the bone. So these are the various modalities of investigation. I intentionally do not want to talk anything specific. This is only a overview of what is the scenario for the world, for our country, and for our state in this area. So we do not want to extend anything today. Subsequently, we will be talking about various important topics relating to injuries, particularly in upper limb and lower limb. By step, we'll be in touch with you. So today, this is the end. I believe you, if you will continue subsequent classes for talking specific topics. Nekibus, Zaman. Oh, Nekibus. Nekibus. Will not আজি ইমানতে হ'ব আৰু বেছি কথা নাপাঠো বুঝছা নাই তুমি কি কোনে লিখে এটো इसमें आ जाता है ना वो लोग लिख देता है शायद ये आ जाता है तो वो अंकुमणि कितना लोग जॉइन किया है 96 अनीस भाई
यस सर
तो आपको ये जानकारी लेके मन में आनंद हुआ कि दुख हुआ
आनंद हो सर
आप भार्गव भगवती साहब को आनंद हुआ कि दुख हुआ ये एक्चुअली हमारा फोरफादर्स ने क्या करके गया है हमारे लिए इसके लिए ही हमने आपको चर्चा किया है हमने इच्छा करके कोई सब्जेक्ट को आज नहीं लिया है पहले हमारा अतीत को जानकारी ले लेते हैं और इसके बाद हम आगे और कदम बढ़ाएंगे स्टेप बाय स्टेप तो आज के लिए हम यही पे समाप्त करते हैं दोबारा मिलने का उम्मीद करते हैं तो हमको आपको थैंक यू बोलना है तो आपको मन में कोई कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ सकते हैं पल्लवी किबा खुदिबा আছে নেকি पल्लवी नहीं तो ठीक है थैंक यू फॉर टुडे we'll be in touch with you for subsequent classes are you happy with this
yes sir
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes sir
yes sir thank you
thank you sir
ठीक है जैसे भी हमारा अतीत को जानकारी के लिए हमने आपको एक सब बताया थोड़ा सा अतीत को जान ले हम आगे कदम और बढ़ाएंगे हम विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट स्पेसिफिक
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू वेरी मच इसको बंद कर दो
Thank you, sir.
thank you sir thank you sir
Thank you, sir.